So I wanted to work through something I recently had an epiphany about. I just read a book called Silent Seduction, and it's about emotional incest or covert incest. And it's reflective of my relationship with my dad and my mother's depression. So there's an element of control when you have, at least in, I'll just speak from experience because I don't know for everybody else. But my relationship with my dad was very enmeshed, if you've ever heard of that term too. So because we were religious and my dad took that very, very seriously, hell was a big motivator, a fear motivator to not ever do anything wrong. And I took that very seriously. I was scared of hell. Eventually I got into a place in relationship with God where I didn't have a fear of hell. I was just a good person, you know, doing my best to do everything right, asking for forgiveness when necessary, that type of thing. So as far as the enmeshed relationship goes and the epiphany that I had, so I'm a really open person, an open book. I love to share my life, my experiences, my stories, and I've always kind of felt that there was something wrong when people wouldn't share things about themselves. I almost felt this, for lack of a better word, this right to information about them, because honesty and integrity was something that was driven so deep into my person from my dad, and being open was how you were honest, telling everybody everything. My dad doesn't keep a secret for people, you know. If you tell dad something, he's going to need to talk about it with everybody. I got used to that as a kid, that anything that I went through or that my parents knew about, everybody was going to know about it, because my dad wouldn't be able to not talk about it. And I had to accept that as a part of my childhood, and I didn't see anything wrong with it because it's what I was used to. And I remember, because my mother was depressed and I was in essentially like a surrogate spouse role with my father, and also well, that included like taking care of the children and the chores, and then going on like special trips with dad, and special things from dad. You know, I was the only one who got like heart-shaped pizzas brought home, and special treats and snacks that were just like me and him, stuff like that. I was the favorite, and that was very obvious. And then when you get the authority of the role of surrogate spouse, when you're taking care of your siblings and your father is constantly putting your mother down, talking about how horrible and terrible she is at all these things, and then you're going, okay, don't be like her. Don't be depressed. Don't be sad. Put your big girl panties on. Be what dad needs. Maybe you can even help mom, because maybe if you help mom, you don't have to keep doing this shit all by yourself, right? So this is like a big part of my childhood, was not being a kid so that I could be there for my dad, who also had like horrible anxiety, like a prisoner in his own home kind of anxiety. And then my mom had depression. I mean, really, really bad depression. We're not just talking about like my whole life, but like she still has it. It's just bad. Anyways, yeah, so in surrogate spousal roles, a lot of times children just get pushed into this role. Sometimes it's a single family, single parent situation Sometimes it's just a really deep crack in the marriage. There really wasn't. My parents are still married today, and they've been married for like 35 years or something like that. But my mom was depressed, so she was like emotionally unavailable to my dad, so I had to carry that burden because she was also emotionally unavailable to me. So then my dad was like my best friend. Okay, so I want to talk about the element of truth telling, right? So I couldn't go anywhere without coming home. Like, as I got older and got more freedom to go to friends' houses and stuff, I would be like interrogated. I couldn't think of the word. I was thinking of like the light bulb in a room, you know, lawyers and cops. I would be interrogated for information, you know, about what I had done or didn't do, make sure that I didn't listen to secular music, that, you know, I wasn't cussing with my friends who would ask me if they were doing that kind of stuff. Did I kiss any boys? Were there any boys there? Stuff like that was always asked, like very specifically, because my dad would get super mad about lies of omission. And this is something he always like accused my mom of, was just not telling him things that he knew. He would say like, you know what I'm really asking you and you're skirting around the truth. So there would always be this like sense that I can't lie, I can't be a liar like my mom. I don't want to be, because I'll lose my dad's affection and love. Plus I'll go to hell, and I have to confess everything no matter what it is to my dad. I have to tell them everything. I can't let anything be hidden, you know, because what's done in darkness always comes to light. Scripturally, like, I was just an open book because I was told that I had to be. And I've just enforced the same belief on everybody around me. I'm not a good secret keeper, and it's not because I can't shut my mouth and I'm too impulsive to keep secrets. It's because internally I feel like it's wrong to have secrets. People shouldn't have secrets. Don't tell me your secrets. Secrets don't make friends. That kind of thing. And I didn't even realize how, I thought that was just like a religious thing, and then it became just an integrity thing. But now I'm looking at the element of control. Not lying was a way for my dad to make sure he always knew everything, so that I had no privacy. I had no autonomy. Everything that I would do or wouldn't do would then be judged because I would be specifically asked, and I wouldn't lie. And so he would make sure he asked the right questions so that I wouldn't ever end up in like some rebellious teen phase. And my sister, God, she was not having any of this shit. More power to her, dude. She was a tough chick. She is a tough chick. She had a backbone that I only wish I could have. And she was known as the rebellious daughter, and that's because she didn't want to be controlled, and she didn't fucking care if you were going to control her. She wasn't getting her needs met anyways, and then you're also trying to control her? Fuck that shit. So, when I realized recently about this control aspect, I felt like, like sad, because my sister would come to me with things, and I would tell my dad because I thought I was supposed to. And I would even tell her, don't tell me stuff you don't want dad to know. And she'd be like, please don't tell dad, please don't tell dad. And then I would be like, but if he asks me, I can't lie. And then that was where I was. I would always feel like I can't lie. I owe this man all of the information. Why did I think I owed him all of the information? A human being can decide what they tell people and what they don't tell people. Guys, I didn't even know who was safe to tell, like, information to and who wasn't. I thought everybody deserved all of the information no matter what. I felt like it was owed to people to know things about other people. It was like ingrained in me that it wasn't about like telling my dad things because he's my dad and because I wanted to. It was about control. It was about knowing where I am and what I'm doing 24/7, and knowing that I would never ever lie. I can tell you the 3 times I lied to my dad. The 3 times, which I immediately confessed afterwards. I don't didn't, especially as a child, lie to my father. And the main reason for that was, oh, I just realized this thing was like shaking this whole time. Oh, I hope that's not like terribly annoying. Shut my car off. Don't lie to my dad about anything. You know, don't be like your mom, who's a liar. You want a good relationship with your dad. If you lie, he won't trust you. Then there's basically, if you lie, there's more control, because now he can't trust you, so you really can't do anything. At least if I tell him the truth, I'll have a lot of freedom. And my friends recognize my life as a lot of freedom, because I had a car at 16 and that kind of thing. But that was because my dad has so much control of me that he knew I would never lie to him. So I wouldn't be sneaking around and doing other things. If he came to see where I was always where I was. I always did exactly what I was told, obedience to a T. In fact, when I ran off and got married at 19, almost 20, just 2 months shy of 20 years old, when I decided to get married, I told my dad that I was going to hang out with my friend Kelly, and we were going to go ride like four-wheelers afterward and stuff. I didn't tell him that I was getting married that day, but I lied to him because I didn't tell him I was getting married that day, because what he was asking me was what was I doing that day, and I didn't tell him all of the things that I was doing. So this like lie of omission stuff from my dad, my parents were dead set on the fact that I had lied to them because I did something that they didn't want me to do as an adult, which was go and get married. I didn't tell them I was going to go hang out with Johnny. I told them what I was doing for things that I was doing that day. I just didn't tell them everything that I was doing that day. And I recognize now, one of the things with my children, I remember when my son Levi was going through that age around 7 where he would lie all the time, and he was really trying to see like what he could get away with and stuff like that. And I remember reading about like lying in children and trying to detach from it being like sin and just understand like psychologically what's going on when a child is lying to you. And I remember reading, well, first I had to disconnect the fact that it wasn't sin, right? And then go from there to the reasons why people lie. And I remember trying to apply this to adults too, but that took some time, and it's still even to myself. But kids lie to protect themselves. They lie if they think they're going to be hurt. And so then I started asking myself, why doesn't my child trust me to tell me the truth about what they've done or didn't do? So that was kind of the beginning of one of my like crossovers into gentle connected parenting, because I wanted to have a safe place for my children to tell me things. And I've always given my kids a lot of autonomy, and I don't want to control them, probably to the point of being a little bit permissive. Yes, I will definitely admit to that, but it comes from me being a child that was fully controlled by my dad, and not wanting to impose this stuff on other people, because I don't know everything. I don't know all the rights and wrongs. I'm going to guide you, I'm going to direct you, I'm going to lead you, but I don't know everything there is to know. Therefore, I cannot be in full control, because only you know what's going on the inside of you. I'm just here to protect you. I'm here to be your safe space and make sure that you're fed and clothed and loved. But for my dad, it was about control. And oftentimes we weren't fed and loved and sheltered, but we were controlled. My kids, so, my son will still lie to me, you know, who ate this? And I didn't do it. I only had one. Well, there was 3 here. Why don't you just tell me what happened? And then I go, it really doesn't matter. If he ate, I'm pretty sure he ate my brownies last night. He doesn't want to face me knowing that like he disappointed me because he impulsively ate a snack that I love when I told him that he could have one before. And instead of asking, he ate all of them, which is that's the hard thing for me, is like my kids with snacks. I don't hide stuff because my mom used to do that. Like I always share my snacks, but they will take the last of something and it'll be like half a package of something that was just there an hour ago, and then it's all gone. And it isn't even like all the kids eating it where I know that they're eating it. They're like sneaky about it. And I'm like, what the heck, man? Just tell me you're going to eat my brownies so that I'm not looking for them later. Like, I don't freaking care. But he knows like it's not a good thing to eat 4 brownies. So he doesn't want to tell me that he ate 4 of the brownies, you know, and he doesn't want to ask me if he can have 1 brownie because then he knows he can only have 1. And really what he wants is all 4 of them. So like, I know why my kid is lying, but I would much rather him be able to tell me that he ate all 4 brownies and then me help him with his impulse control than feel like he has to lie and hide it. You know, it's like, do I want to be a safe place for my kids to really tell me the truth? Or do I want to like punish and control and, you know, like, I mean, they're gonna lie to me the more punishment and control I put in there anyways, right? My dad had a kid like me who was terrified of things like hell. There was like this enormous, you know, death and going to a really bad place that was so loud. He could basically tell me I had to do anything and I would do it because who's gonna burn in hell? I used to cry myself to sleep at night, begging God to help me remember all of my sins for the day, or all of the things that maybe I didn't even know were sins yet, so that I wouldn't burn in hell or die in my sleep, and horrible things would happen to me. And that's just like how I lived my life as a kid, which is why my dad had so much control, which is another reason I have obviously issues with religion, because I feel like some parents use these tactics for control. And I didn't even know it was about control. You know, my dad maybe doesn't even know. I don't know. He's not particularly aware of stuff like this, but basically I've realized that I am not a good secret keeper because internally I was taught that secrets are bad and not allowed. And I have learned that people are allowed to fucking have secrets. And they're allowed to choose who is safe to share themselves with. And I have slowly been working on that. But it just was like this light bulb moment of, oh my God, I've expected everybody to be so open with me that like if they're not, I feel like they're hiding stuff and being deceitful. And then I like shut them down and like don't be friends with them and stuff like that. And then I'm sure I'm not a safe person for people who are going through really hard things because they think I can't keep it to myself if necessary. And I don't just like go gossiping, but it is one of those things where I feel like if you have a secret, then there's something wrong with you. And I felt like not having secrets gave me power because now everybody can see who I am and what I am and judge me for all that I am rather than just bits and parts. And so people who would protect themselves with secrets, I felt like were weak, essentially. And I had this like high horse righteousness of just being very open and not saving any information. Like, man, I'm just, so much of that is just like melting away and changing. And it feels really good. It feels so good to see the world this way instead of a lens of control and manipulation and power. I don't need that stuff. And I like know that with my kids, which is kind of what's changing me so much, is just that awareness and that recognition that I have no desire to control my kids. I just want them to be the best little versions of themselves that they can possibly grow up to be. And I enjoy watching them develop and grow. And all I want to do is be the best mom possible, like ever. Like that's like, it's all I want to do, you know? They're always, God help me, they're always gonna, you know, be here on this earth. Like I'm hopefully will die before all of them and I'll get to just watch this for the rest of my life. This beautiful blossoming of other human beings that I was able to be a part of and without control, just because I love them. Like I genuinely love them. I don't need anything from them, you know? I don't know. It's beautiful. God, I love my kids so much. Fucking awesome. Yep. So secrets, and secrets don't make friends. You know what? Sometimes they do. Sometimes secrets make friends. Sometimes you can hold something for somebody. And that's kind of neat. I didn't think that before, but I do now.